Welcome, everybody. My name is Arjun Roy, producer, recordist, mix engineer, coming at you from Grande Prairie, Alberta, my hometown. We are recording at Better Than Fred's, excellent venue, epic bar, and purveyor of fine barbecue. This is episode 15 of a series of unedited conversations that I'm calling The Hometown Hustle. This deals with my artistic journey through the arts and music scene in the Peace Country and all the people who helped me get where I am today. You may know today's guest from any of his numerous musical projects, including the Northbloods. Very pleased to have drummer, musician extraordinaire, Mr. David Oostra.
Hey, man.
Hey.
How's it going?
Here you are.
Here I am.
You just showed up. That's amazing.
Yeah, just appeared.
Just appeared out of nowhere, dude.
There you go.
Welcome. And thank you for coming. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your
Thanks for
time
having
and,
me.
being able to chat.
Yeah.
David, when did we meet?
2010.
2010.
That's when we met.
How old were you?
Yeah. I would have been 15 at the time.
Unbelievable.
Just some punk in high school.
And you played in a band?
I did. Yeah,
Called?
Yeah. Our Broken Body was the name of the band when you met us. But
Yeah.
We I think we started in grade 10. It was like throughout that year we went through 3 or 4 different band names.
Oh,
and
okay.
Kind of, yeah. It was me and 2 other guys that were kind of the core, and then other band members kind of came in and out. But
Who was the core? Who were you in high school with when this band got put together?
myself and Colby Garland was the
Right.
the guitar player,
Yep.
and Josh Kuykendall was the other guitar player.
Got it. And then who was singing for you at the time? Spencer?
Cam Wills.
Wills.
Yeah.
Who's Spencer?
I don't know.
His brother? Does he have a brother?
Yeah, Spencer Wills is his younger brother,
Right,
but he,
there you go.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it was Cam.
Yeah.
Cam on vocals.
Cam was the screamer.
Right.
Yes.
And then how did you guys meet Alex on bass? Or, was that like a
Right, yeah, because he was playing bass
audition
for
or-
us at the time.
At the time, yeah.
Because, he recorded that record that we did that summer. How did we meet? I knew Alex from just like we went to elementary school together, and we were just like school friends, and I
Yep.
knew that he played bass, and he was involved at the time with, various other musical endeavors. And,
Yeah.
And, we got playing with him because we needed someone to fill in like last minute for a show. I
Okay.
think
Yep.
that was at the Gaiety Theater when
the Gaiety.
that venue was on its last legs.
Yep.
And so he did the show with us just as like a sub, and then we asked him to join the band, and so he was with us for about a year.
Oh,
I think.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Were all of you at school together? Isn't Josh a couple of years
We
older than
all
you
went
guys?
to the
or-
same high school.
Okay.
Josh was a couple of years ahead of us.
Got it. Was he like in grade 12 and you guys were in grade 10, that kind of thing? Or was he already
Yeah,
graduated?
he would have been grade 12 when we were
Okay,
in
got
grade
it.
10. Yeah.
Interesting. How did the connection get made that led to us recording together? Because that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like,
how we met you?
Exactly.
You mean?
How did that happen?
Josh got a hold of you because he knew
Okay.
that you were playing, or you had played in a metal band.
Oh, yes.
A metal band called Calculating
Yes,
Collapse.
indeed.
For a while there. So I think
Okay.
that had kind of dissolved by the time.
Yeah.
By the time he had reached out to you about recording our band, but and I can't remember who. He maybe had a mutual friend of yours, and I can't remember how he reached out to you, but he knew that you had worked on some of the production stuff on your guys' EP, and it sounded
gosh.
amazing. So he's like, "Man, this band sounds like a quote unquote legit, actual, for real
Yeah.
metal band that should
gotcha.
be on a label and doing it for a living." So it sounded fully pro, and we wanted to just make a really good sounding record. So Josh thought you were the guy. So we met you in the Grande Prairie Church of Christ in that sanctuary.
That's right.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That was my first memory of meeting you.
Yep.
What were we doing?
Were you guys gigging that night, or did I just end up meeting you guys there because you were rehearsing or something?
We played 1 or 2 shows in that room, but
Okay.
I think it was just some sort of meet the engineer, talk
Got it.
about kind of how you want to go about doing the whole thing, and I think we recorded some. That's what we were doing. We were recording some demos of all the songs, and so you brought all your stuff, and we had this. There was an electric kit at the church at the time, and so you plugged it all into Cubase, and we sort of did some rough like one take versions of all the songs, just so you had them to listen to and kind of go over, and that was the first time I met you.
Gotcha.
I think.
It's funny. I was making these notes, and I always kind of start by like finding a point where our paths sort of intersect. And I was trying to figure out. Like, I remember recording you guys like all summer, like doing a ton of recording, but I don't remember how we got to that point. So, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I remember you guys were fantastic. I don't want to. Well,
we were all right.
I mean, I don't want to make a statement like, well, for your age, you guys were good. But like, it didn't cross my mind that you guys were like mostly 15 or something, because like you guys played together really well, and your time, I feel like your timing has always been really good, like your internal sense of meter, but
well, hopefully
we're
that's the goal.
I guess it helps.
Drummer, but
Sure. But that was great. And then we entered the studio and recorded the Our Broken Body album named Misguided Fear.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The debut, I guess, the one and only.
Right.
We did a garage band EP a few months before that, and just kind of like figured it out on our own.
Yep.
Learned how to plug in like a USB adaptable microphone and hit the record button, and didn't sound that great, but but we tried.
Of course,
for a home project first. Yeah. Well, that was the first time I'd ever recorded anything.
Right.
Any sort of music into microphones before. Yeah.
Cool. And that's the thing about, the first recordings. I mean, if you're a person who's going to get into that kind of thing, there's always that step.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it was probably putting together No One's Alone demos. We would record in Neil Farnquist's
and that was like
basement.
way before my time. I didn't really know much about No One's Alone.
Yeah.
You mentioned that band a couple times, but it was like, early 2000s. When did that happen?
2002 to 2006.
Yeah, so I was in grade 2, so...
Grade 2.
Would have been.
Oh my gosh! Oh man,
I was quite young.
I too was in grade 2.
Yeah, almost old enough to
That's right, playing bars. Yeah,
but,
clearly. Amazing. Okay, all right. Now it all makes sense.
Yes.
Before we go forward, let's go way back. Dave, where were you born?
Here
in Grande Prairie.
Yeah,
amazing. Born and raised.
GP.
Where did you guys live? Did you guys live like in the house that you're at right now, or did you guys live elsewhere?
We lived, in the house I live in right now, actually, is the house I grew up in.
Right.
And then my parents found a lot right across from the school that was like just like 2 blocks from where we were living at the time. And my sister and I were growing up, and we were running out of space in the house, so they bought a lot and built a place, and now I'm renting from them, and it's, living with the singer in my current band, and
it's all come full circle. So I guess
full circle.
That's cool. Growing up, what were you into? So first of all, how old is your sister? Is she older, younger?
2.5 years younger tang me.
Okay, got it. What were you guys into growing up?
Yeah. What were we into?
Yeah.
Like music or just like
stuff?
Whatever,
yeah.
Oh, geez. What did we do as kids? I don't know. Things that kids do. We watched lots of TV, and we were. What did we do when we were done school? I don't know. We'd come home, and my sister and I would watch Lizzie McGuire on the family. Lots of Family Channel stuff, and YTV on the Saturday mornings, and we did some camping and stuff, and not a ton, but and I just played music and played drums. I started playing drums at a really young age, so I think most of my spare time was taken up by just banging away at the that little junior kit that my parents bought me when I was really young, and playing along to records, and that was I guess around age 10, 11 kind of thing. I was playing along to CDs that I had purchased at the music store that my parents got for me, and just like random CDs. I had this little cassette player and full CD player, I guess.
Yeah.
There was a cassette on it too.
Gotcha.
I bought an actual CD, and it was like a CD radio, one of those little things. And I don't know how it was loud enough. I was, playing pretty hard, but somehow I was still able to hear the music and try to like kind of sync up with whatever was happening. So
Sure. So what drew you to music as a thing? Like, was there music in your family, or did you kind of grow up like suddenly wanting to play drums?
I was trying to think about that. I really don't know.
Yep.
My parents like music, as everybody does.
Yep.
I don't come from like a crazy musical family where both of my parents are, playing in bands, and you hear that story
totally
all the time talking to musicians. But I don't know. My parents bought me a kit when I was 3.
Oh, wow.
And just a little junior kit.
Awesome.
And wasn't like some Fisher Price thing. It was like, a decent sounding
legit
kind of beginner
small kit.
kit.
Got it.
But before that, I'm trying to think of what my first sort of memory of like loving music was. My parents would play CDs in the house and stuff. And I remember dancing really hard to Chumbawamba in
awesome.
Tub Thumping.
Tub
In the,
as
in the
did
living
we
room.
all,
Yeah. That was one of the distant memories of I guess being inclined to want to, be involved with, music in some way or another. And then I remember at the church, we would, I just remember being fascinated by whoever was playing drums. I would sit cross-legged as close as I could to everybody else's, backs, being normal human beings sitting in their seats.
Right.
I'm just like right up there cross-legged, just as close as I could get to the drum kit. And at least that's what people tell me. I have sort of vague memories of that. And then, I don't know. I was like, I guess when I was just before I turned 3 or so, my parents tell me I was, banging on pots and pans and, the classic drummer story.
Awesome.
We had this little tin, it was like a tin pail kind of thing. That was like my drum before I had drums. And it was, my parents still have it. They use it for storing Christmas decorations, I think. Christmas tree decorations, that's what they use it for now. So every year around Christmas time, I'm extensively reminded about
of course.
about how much I love that. You can still see the bottom. It's all, caved in and full of dents, and
that's great.
So I was very loud when I was a 2-year-old.
That's amazing. I think when kids are young, parents are super happy that they want to play drums, right? It's like, clearly, just that's the
and I don't think I was playing. I don't think I was playing along to like music or anything at that point. I was just like hitting stuff and I don't know. That was
that's cool.
I just like to hit stuff, I guess, and then that turned into my parents buying me a kit, and then I kind of fell in love with that and never really stopped playing drums. So.
Totally. Did you play drums in church? Like, was that a thing that you got into growing up?
Yeah. That was a big thing. I think the first time I played in church, I was 9.
Oh, cool.
And then, up until like age 15, 16 kind of thing, I was playing like, not every weekend, but like lots of weekends.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
it was the size of congregation where it's like they don't have a ton of people. It's like a decent sized church, but they're always looking for people to step up. So and I was just a young kid wanting to play in front of people. So so I that was like 95% of like my musical performances as a kid was just playing at church.
Absolutely.
So which I think helped a lot.
Totally, man. I mean, that's, playing on stage is one thing. Playing in front of people is another thing. Playing in, like, real life band situations is another thing. I mean, that
Yeah,
kind of stuff
yeah.
just, it develops your ear, and your ability to play with people and listen to each other. That's like fundamental. I mean, there's so many people who like shred in their basements.
Yeah,
but then when they
and then they go to play with the band, and they're like, "Okay, like we have to play together." Like there's
exactly.
like there's
There's
playing
a
time.
pulse.
Yeah.
Follow the drummer.
Yeah.
This is my snare.
Yeah, this is called a backbeat.
Yep, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Not necessarily follow the drummer, but play, listen
sure.
to each other. That's the main
Absolutely.
thing that you kind of gotta learn over time.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Definitely. Did you take lessons when you were young?
Yeah, I started taking lessons when I was 6 or 7
Okay.
at the college conservatory.
Oh, cool. Who taught?
Kelly Townsend taught me at the time.
Kelly,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and then his dad, Mike Townsend, was the band teacher. Was like a school band teacher. So when I took band in grade 5, he taught me band.
Okay.
But yeah, I took lessons with Kelly for like 1 or 2 years right when I
Amazing.
started.
Yeah.
And he, I think my first year was just snare drum stuff, or maybe we were just on practice pads doing rudiments or like whatever. I don't remember much of that.
For
but
sure. Yeah.
Learning to read notes was
Certainly.
it's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Did you get into the theory thing and sight reading at the time as well, or did that come later?
Yeah, no, that was, I think I learned to read like snare drum. I don't think it was like snare drum solos. I don't think it was like that good when I, when I was 6 years old. But 1 or 2 years after that, I was, just tall enough that my feet could reach the pedals on a kit. And so I started taking drum lessons on a full drum set. And, and working out of the famous realistic rock drum book that everybody kind of works through when they're younger, and learning to read. So I learned to read, I guess, at a young age too. But I still think I learned to use my ears before learning to play music with my eyes.
Yep.
So
that's that's the way. It's very important.
Yes, I think that is important.
Thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. What are some bands you were listening to at the time? Not necessarily bands, but artists, drummers, just music that you were into.
Drummers in particular, I wasn't paying super close attention to at the time. Maybe I should have been, but as a young kid, I remember. I don't remember what I was listening to when I was like, 5 or 6. I don't know if I was really into like any specific bands, but the first record I remember like obsessing over, I think I was 9 years old, something like that. And The Long Road, Nickelback, was like the first heavy rock band I ever heard. And so me and my childhood best friend, Luke, we burned that CD pretty pretty good. That was just our thing. We were just crazy about Nickelback. And then we went to the Nickelback concert when they played at the arena here when we were 9, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Was that where people threw shoes at them or something?
Yes, there was a shoe
thrown
at that one.
Got it.
Yeah, and then they left and
left.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, they had this thing called Beer O'Clock, and where the whole band they had this giant supply of like solo cups, and they would just like chuck them out into the crowd, and so I got soaked. And
beer.
at the time it was like, this is awesome.
Exactly.
This is so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beer is amazing.
Yeah. Chad Kruger threw beer at me. This is amazing. But yeah, I think that was the first like real concert that I went to. And then I remember playing along to that record a lot on the drums. And what else? The Chili Peppers Greatest Hits record from '99 or whatever, the one with the lips on it. Yeah, that was a big one. Avril Lavigne, Under My Skin.
Oh, sure.
Just like, random stuff, not
the
necessarily
stuff that was
like
huge at the time, and
just stuff that was popular at the time, I guess.
Sure.
Not necessarily like I noticed the drummer and like, the drums are so good, so I got to learn this.
Exactly.
I just, the song was good, or, that's just what I noticed, or what I remember
I hear you.
noticing. So, yeah.
Cool.
And I don't really remember playing, like trying to mimic exactly what the drummer was doing on the
Okay.
record. I was
Okay.
just sort of like jamming along,
Right.
kind of playing
Doing your own thing.
what I thought
Yep.
would sort of fit,
Yep.
you know. Yeah, just working on playing in time with the music, I guess,
Yeah.
was sort of
Totally.
the main thing. I didn't really have any goals when I was
Yeah.
when I was playing along the songs when I was a kid, but
What led you to like consider being in bands? You know, is that a thing that came up like between pals or something, or like, you know, did you think one day like, oh, you know, being in a band would be cool?
I don't really remember having that thought. But my Nickelback fan friend,
Yep.
childhood best friend Luke, he was just picking up guitar at the time, and so kind of trying to learn that, and so we were just like, yeah, man, let's start a band, and so we did, and we were. Yeah, I think I was in grade 5 or grade 5 or 6 or something, and me and him and a couple of other buddies from church, we were all about the same age, and we, you know, just started jamming, and just because we could, I guess. I can't remember if I was the one that's tried to like initiate the whole thing, or if it was something that just kind of happened, but
that was it.
That was it. Yeah,
Then it happened.
and we, you know, it probably wasn't great, but
It's early bands, man.
You got to go through that. You
Absolutely.
Gotta just, you know, every musician has to go through like, you know, just playing with people and sounding bad before you sound good. So
Absolutely.
Not that we were terrible, but you know, we learned like American Idiot, Green Day. That was another big record that I listened to a lot and played along to. But we learned
was huge. Man. Oh my gosh, it was so
I remember
big.
hering Holiday on the radio for the first time, and the sound
Yep.
of the toms, the drum groove was just
Absolutely.
like, these are the best sounding drums ever.
Classic Chris Lord algae.
Yes, great.
What a guy.
Great mix engineer. Yeah. But anyway, we covered Holiday by Green Day and
Cool.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams and that Linkin Park song that was What I've Done.
Oh, okay.
We did that one.
Got it.
We just like learned easy power chord songs.
Totally.
And, you know, as you do when you're young.
Yeah, well, I mean, like really good. I mean, you mentioned something that makes so much sense in hindsight. I feel like when you're a musician and you are gigging, and if you study music and you're into like chops heavy stuff, at a certain point, you know, and this isn't like a blanket statement. Like I know, like for me, this happens when I'm just like all about some technical stuff for a while. I'm like, oh man, this guy's shredding so good, or some such thing. That you know, you kind of like forget about songs as a whole. But what you said earlier,
that's
and I remember,
thing, man. Well, that's what everybody has to like learn eventually, I guess, on their musical journey. But yeah, and especially like, you know, playing in metal bands in high school and stuff, it's just like, you know, all there is to music is speed, of course, and impressing people. And
exactly.
You know, so it was very, you know, wanting to play technically challenging stuff to try to impress your friends or whatever.
Of course.
It's always a thing you want to do when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But then eventually, you know, you learn about selfless musicianship and, you know, just making the song sound good rather than
whatever,
trying to make you sound good or
exactly.
you know, however you want to put it. But
yeah, man, everything has to serve the song. It's, you know, it's like everyone comes back to that eventually.
Yeah.
Not the chops are not fun.
Well,
They're so much fun.
Yeah, chops are still fun. You just, you know, gotta sneak it in every once in a while.
There's a difference between like songwriting and songcraft and like
totally.
the shredding thing.
Yeah, it's all about, and you know, it's like that's the difference between you know, metal and not metal, and it's not like there's two completely different things. You know, it's still music, but you know, the aesthetic is just different. I guess, right? Technical proficiency versus like songwriting. I suppose lyrics, melody.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was going to say something else and then I forgot. Sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Speaking of, I guess, the technical thing, who are some drummers you remember getting into? Like, were there sort of maybe bands where you know, were into the rhythmic end of things, or, you know, was there like a drummer who you heard and you're like, you know, this is amazing?
I just remember liking bands when I was a kid. I don't really, and I still, I mean, I have drummers now that I like, really like and appreciate what they do and stuff, but like being younger, I remember like reading about drummers and like kind of paying attention to them just because they were in a band that I liked,
Right.
not necessarily because
Got
I
it.
was like, this is the best drummer ever.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess all the drummers that were playing on the records that I was listening to, they were all just, you know, playing to the song. They weren't
Yeah.
necessarily trying to be like, look, I'm the best drummer
Yeah.
in the world.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think I remember, looking at the backside of that Nickelback record, and Ryan Vicdale
Yes.
was the drummer on that one, and he went to McEwen.
Oh, he did?
Coincidentally, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he was in the music program, the performance diploma program, I think.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know when he went there, but I just heard that was a thing.
Of course. Yeah.
And then of course Chad Smith I had heard about, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, it's interesting talking about Nickelback. Like nowadays, people love to make fun of Nickelback,
Oh,
and they
of course.
have for a while. It's all good,
It's
but it's
just always been a
oh, totally. It's easy to forget
a
like
thing, but-
how tight their songwriting was. They got huge,
Yeah.
for a certain reason.
Oh,
you know?
totally, yeah,
And like
yeah.
those records also sounded incredible, like from a production standpoint.
yeah. Even the Long
oh my
Road. You
gosh.
think like Silver Side Up, Long Road. I remember.
Shut up.
Like All the
Long
Right
Road.
Reasons was a record where it was just like, man, the mixing on this
Yeah,
is like,
yeah.
and I didn't really know that at the time, but like the sound, the sonic quality of
Yeah.
everything was just like, and the drums sounded so
Massive.
good.
Absolutely.
And then Dark Horse came out, and everything
Dark
sounded
Horse.
even better.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's the album that I
That's-
remember
yeah.
like stopping. I think I was teaching guitar lessons at the time, and
Okay.
somebody, one of the
Wanted
kids
to
I was
learn Burn It
teaching-
to the Ground or
Hey, well,
something,
of
yeah.
course, exactly, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, of course, this is Nickelback. I'll figure it out, whatever. But I remember putting it on and like just hitting
just
play,
like, dude.
and listening to the whole record.
Yeah.
Because it sounded so good. The
Well,
mix, the drums, the guitars, like the low end was massive. I mean, it was just like a very.
It's just how a
thick-
heavy rock band should
yes
sound.
huge
right?
rock tone. Yeah.
Best sounding rock drums, I think, on a record.
Yeah.
Like maybe not ever, but like it's, you know, it's
It's up there.
there.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Who mixed that? Do you know? Dark Horse?
I want to say Rich Costi, but I can't say definitively whether it was Rich
Not
Costi or
super up on my mix engineers,
what?
but
Randy Staub.
Yes.
Let me Google it.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
It's a great thing about these things.
so we have the power.
Find out right now exactly. Dark.
But yeah,
Horse,
speaking
not
of
Katy
good
Perry.
drummers,
Yep.
like Daniel Adair is, you know,
Yes.
that was maybe a game changer for Nickelback too.
Yep.
It's just nothing crazy technical or anything, but just a pocket a mile deep, and it's all you need.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm finding out all these great things. So so Dark Horse specifically was co-produced by Nickelback and Mutt Lange.
Oh, okay.
Mutt Lange co-produced
Yeah.
that record. That's insane.
I've heard the name, but I don't.
So
who
Mutt
is he? What
Lange,
has he
he
done?
was like, I mean, so he created like the Def Leppard sound, like starting there, like Mutt Lange,
Okay.
like everything from Def Leppard to Foreigner, AC/DC, Bryan Adams, and then like Shania Twain as well.
So like everything.
Like everything.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Okay, mix engineer. Come on, here we go.
Yeah.
Studio, label, producer, personnel. Here we go. Come on, credits.
Yes.
Yeah, Randy Staub. Okay.
Okay.
Randy Staub. Amazing. Oh, Chris Lord Alge mixed I'd Come For You, but I don't remember that song.
Okay. Yes.
Mastered by Ted Jensen. Cool.
Yeah, I knew Ted Jensen mastered it. I remember looking that up. It's like, yeah.
It's a killer sounding record. I mean, it works on all those levels.
Sonically, it's just insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like it couldn't be better, right?
Totally. Yeah.
But that's
Good
enough
times.
Nickelback.
That's some Nickelback.
suppose.
All right.
Yeah.
Back to serious business now.
Yeah.
So when did the band stuff turn into what became Our Broken Body? Like, were you playing in a bunch of bands throughout school, or was it like a couple of things and then?
Not like a bunch at a time, but I was always kind of in bands here
Right.
and there,
Yep.
I guess, that are, that band when I was like 9. That was just like the first, we played in our living room in front of all our family friends. That was the only show we ever did. We were just, young kids. And then getting into junior high, I met Doug Whipple and we started playing together. And we started a band actually with Alex St. James. So it was me, him, and Doug, and then we got a singer named Tyler for a while, and that was like the first Edge of Attack.
Okay, got it.
Not officially under that name, but Doug was like, brought it up, and we were sort of like trying to make it a thing. And, we had some original songs that were like we thought were pretty good at the time, and we were playing lots of Megadeth and Iron Maiden, and that was basically it.
Right.
Ozzy, just like classic metal stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like that was kind of the vibe that Doug's kind of kept.
Oh yeah,
throughout, Like I feel like that's through the Edge of Attack records and stuff. It's that. Yeah. It goes, it kind of airs on the side of that classic metal.
Lots of power metal influence and speed metal and
right.
Yeah. Megadeth and Iron Maiden. I think for him at least, I'm not sure about right now, but for the span of multiple years, it was like those were like his two bands, and then we started playing guitar a lot together too.
Oh, cool.
Not like playing shows or anything, but we were just like chill and learn songs from those bands. I learned a lot of like Megadeth riffs when I was like 13.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we played in that band. And then that just sort of like, kind of dissolved as bands do, and especially when you're younger and
totally.
And then got into high school, and Josh contacted me about. I didn't know him super well at the time. We were like our families both went to the same church, and we kind of knew each other that way, and we were both at the Composite High School at the time, but he was a couple years ahead of me, so we, weren't hanging out like that much, but somehow he knew Colby, and I knew Colby because we were in the same grade, and we were like in school band together, and, so the three of us kind of like formed, because I think Josh got a hold of us because his cousin was playing in a metal band in Edmonton called Bathing Insanity, and that was Lincoln's band. Lincoln came in, and he was the featured vocalist on one of our songs when
Shamzorb?
we recorded Shamzorb. That was
I think
all of our. Was that's what he was on? Yeah, yeah. There's just the goofiest band names. So we would come up with these band names, song names, and then we were just like, we'll change them later. We'll find something better, and we just forget, and like we would never change the name of the songs. So
I remember one of the songs was like Dave 2.0. Right?
That was the other like really really stupid one. But So we we started playing together, and we learned like a Lamb of God cover, and I didn't know when Josh got a hold of me, I didn't know it was going to be a metal band.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe I knew it was going to be a metal band because I knew that like Megadeth was a metal band, but I didn't know it was going to be like screaming, like, very
like super modern technical,
kinda, whatever metal, like metal with distorted vocals,
Exactly.
So I was like that kind of like I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm in one of these bands now. And then
that's amazing.
That's just like what all my friends were listening to at the time, and
that was huge at the time, right? Like Lamb of God, Killswitch, those kinds of bands.
2010 to 2012 was kind of.
Oh my gosh, sorry, 10, 12. I keep forgetting like the years that
like
we're
Lamb
talking.
of God was around before that for sure, but But we learned Contractor by Lamb of God. That was the first cover we tried to learn in Josh's garage, and eventually we started trying to write original music and changed band names like 8 times, and then eventually had enough songs that and we didn't write like a bunch of songs and then pick the best few. It was just like as soon as we had 10 songs, we were just like, let's do it. Let's make a record. Yep. So then that brought us to, I guess, when we met you. Right.
Real quick, where were you guys jamming at the time? At Josh's place?
For a bit.
Okay.
And then we started playing at the rehearsal space I still use now for
right.
all the stuff that I'm doing. And even back when I was in junior high, like with Doug and Alex, we were playing in that same space.
That's awesome. Yep.
Too. Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Your folks have heard all the jamming and all the songwriting. And
yeah,
that's
all
awesome.
The jams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. What were you playing for drums at the time? Were you like lugging around a drum set, or did you have like one kit that you had for a while? Or did you...
that tiny little kit that my parents got me when I was 3. I played that I think until I was 7.
Okay.
And then I kind of outgrew it, and they bought me another kit for my birthday or Christmas or something like that, and it was a Pearl export kit, which every drummer needs to acquire at some point.
Yep.
And then I played that kit from. I didn't get another kit till then. My parents bought me another kit as a grad present once I was done high school. So they're just never going to stop buying me drums. I hope.
That's right. It's it's a classic parental support thing. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yes, it really is.
It's lovely.
But yeah, I guess 10 years. I guess I played that export kit, playing in bands and playing at the Gaiety Theater.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's good times.
That was the first like show that I remember playing.
Who was on the bill?
With a band called Follow the Red with
Kelly
Weeb and
Kelly. Who else?
Shane Weeb.
Shane Weeb. Garth.
Tim.
Garth was not in that band? I don't know.
Garth joined them later or something, I think.
I see.
I can't remember who was playing bass for them at the time, and then a singer named Tim.
Okay.
Vocalist he was doing that. And
cool.
Yeah, so I think it was just the two of us.
Okay.
And we just sort of like set up our own show. I think Josh kind of contacted the venue, and we rented the venue, and we printed off all these tickets and harassed people in our school until they bought some. And, and then, then we got like 150 people out to our first gig. And that was my first experience, I think, doing like a show in front of a bunch of people that like, came out to see your band and you're playing your own original music. And
that's amazing.
It was a good rock star moment.
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. It's one of the things about music and the arts in general. It's like, it can be so punishingly brutal sometimes. You got to make sure you take a moment and pat yourself on the back when these good things happen.
Go me.
Go me, exactly. It's, I think, everyone's got to pause and do that. Just, go me. It's amazing. Was it the following summer that we hit the studio?
It maybe wasn't even a summer because that was summer of 2010. So that was my first summer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
After my first year of high school. So maybe it would have been like 7 or 8 months.
Yeah. Got it.
After that first show at the Gaiety that we recorded our thing. So.
Wow.
Yeah, because we had most of the songs that we had that we wanted to record with you. We at least a good chunk of them. I think we'd already had to play at that show. So it wouldn't have been that far off. Maybe 6 to 8 months kind of thing.
Cool. Was that everyone's first recording experience in in the studio, but in in like a guy's basement that he calls the studio? Was that like the?
That was
That was the first thing for you guys.
Yeah. For all of us, I think it was because we didn't know that there was supposed to be a mix engineer and a tracking engineer and mastering engineer and pre-production and all of this stuff. Right? It was just man, there's this guy that's going to record our band, and we're gonna he's going to set up some mics, and then we're gonna it's going to sound great.
Yeah.
So we weren't super aware of the whole process, start to finish.
Got it.
But that was our first experience doing that.
I just remember it was a long stretch of recording days and times, and it was all just all a lot of fun. Is what I remember mostly about that whole thing.
You booked off a bunch of time, or you must have too, right? Because we were it was summer for us, and we weren't doing anything else. We were, we didn't. We weren't adults yet. We didn't have we didn't have adulting to do. We didn't have errands to run and work to go to. So we were just kids goofing off in the summer and so it was almost what was probably a 4 or 5 hour session per day kind of thing.
Definitely.
Every day or almost every day for I don't know. It felt like most of the summer. Maybe
Yeah,
it was
totally.
Maybe it was only 2 or 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
we spent the first week, like I remember Colby and Josh recorded their like scratch tracks, and then
That's right.
and then I would play drums along to that, and then we, once the drums were all done, then I just got to sit back and
Absolutely.
You know.
Correct, because did you bring an electronic kit? Did we rent something? Or
you
did somebody
rented
have
something,
one?
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely didn't record
That's right.
real drums. It's metal. You gotta
metal.
program it.
It's got to be programmed. You
Yeah.
gotta do a bunch of this.
Yeah, you gotta quantize it, and everything's got to be perfect.
That's right. Everything is.
But yeah, I
velocity
didn't know anything about that
127.
either. So I was
Right.
I think I called you or
Okay.
I don't know. I had gotten a hold of you, been like, man, which kinds of like drum heads should I like buy for my kit? And you were like, yeah, I think we're just gonna like use electric drums. I was like,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
but you know, it was still so much fun, and we had to, you know, with
sure.
what we had to work with. It's, you know, if you don't have like the best sounding drum room ever,
That's the
and
thing.
a drum tech,
And-
then you know it's tough to get a
Yeah.
good drum sound with acoustic
Totally.
drums.
And like a crap load of, I think that's a technical term, a crap load.
Yes, very
I believe,
technical.
of outboard gear and, like processing to make all that stuff happen.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I feel like the next year I went to Berklee College of Music and I kind of like talked my way into a bunch of recording sessions, and the first few were, a couple of the first few were like some metal guys. And it was amazing because it was all acoustic drums, and I feel like there were folks who were finishing up at Berklee, and so they kind of knew the sorts of things that you had to do to get that sound. And so it was amazing to see like acoustic drums and the amount of processing needed to produce that sound. It takes a lot of work to get it, which is, it's fun. It's great.
Was it a lot going in, or was it mostly like post?
A lot. It was a ton going in. Of course, you end up doing a lot in post afterwards as well. But when you have access to that kind of gear, it's like, I mean, like as many mics on the kick to get everything that you need. Each channel is EQ'd and compressed slightly, and then you're recording like maybe 3 mics on the kick drum, but then you're also like
you need
sending
the kick
those
in
to
mic,
a-
or else it's
Of course,
well, batter
Dude,
head, and then kick in,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
kick
Oh my
out,
gosh,
and then
kick
kick
out,
further out.
Yep, kick further out. Even though it's metal, you still build like the tunnel and get like the 6 foot away mic, and but then you sub all those to another channel, process that, and EQ that, and then you get the combination, and then you have like a parallel drum group, and it's just, I remember like later when I was running my own sessions and stuff, and recording rock and metal was so much fun because we'd end up like,
well, we did that a little bit,
and
like a few summers after.
Oh yeah,
we made
that's
that
right.
first record, and we were gonna record. You were gonna get some other guys at Berklee to like lay down some other tracks for like, we did like a Bon
Oh my
Jovi
gosh, that's
song and a
right.
Halford song.
That's right.
And then
Oh
it
my
just like
gosh.
never really ended up happening. But you sent me the sort of rough mix of just the drums.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this
Yeah.
sounds good.
Well, that was funny because I remember that. I remember I felt like recording some stuff and going to the store and like I had like a laundry list of like microphones. Like, guys, I would like all these microphones and whatever you had for outboard gear. It's like we have like maybe 1/10 of that. So I'm like, oh, right, I'm spoiled because I'm like throughout the year I'm at Berklee and they have everything ever.
Yes. Yeah.
But we kind of maxed out whatever we could find at Long and McQuade.
But you still put 421s on the toms, which you
Yes,
need, and,
yes,
and
indeed.
you had some
Yeah.
Neumanns for
Totally.
the overheads, and you had I think you had the blue Sennheiser mic for the kick drum. It was like all like
exactly.
good,
Yeah,
really good.
I remember
stuff.
putting up like mics upstairs to capture the room sound. At my parents'
we did
place.
do that. Yeah, it's like a couple of like C414s or something. That
exactly.
we threw way up in the balcony.
Way up.
And,
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And then I mixed that through all the gear at Berklee, and it sounded incredible.
Yeah. And we tracked it just on this little like Mackie console or something, didn't we? But then,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lots of crazy, awesome outboard gear processing happened
totally.
afterwards, I'm sure.
And that's how you get the sound.
Yeah.
So that's how come we used electronic drums for the OBB record. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I guess talk to me about the process of being in the studio, or at least that particular recording. Like, I remember it being
for
just in general,
OBB,
like for OBB, I don't know what you guys expected. What did you come out of it thinking and feeling? Was it like, oh, this sucks? Or was it like, oh, okay, this is like a bunch of work, but hey, let's do it again?
It was, we didn't really know what to expect.
Okay.
And so like, nothing really like, met or exceeded our expectations per se. We were recording with you, and we were just like, man, it's probably going to sound great. We don't know exactly how this is all going to go down, but we just like tracked all our stuff, and then you sent us back, mixes kind of back and forth for a bit, and then we ended up with something that we were really happy with. And
cool.
And you didn't master it, did you? I think Josh sent it to. We sent it to Indie Pool to get mastered.
I think so,
or something.
I think so. It was funny. I remember this is like back in the days when we'd burn CDs, and mail CDs. I remember like getting all the mixes together, and I had to send something.
You couldn't just do it with whatever the
like some kind of transfer, like an FTP upload.
It wasn't anything.
I don't know what the deal was. Like they wanted like a physical thing, so I had like an archival disc, and then the sequenced album. And I remember like putting the archival disc in the mail, like being like, "Perfect, I'm going to send this, and it's going to be done." Mm-hmm. And then like I got
I do remember that because you sent us a CD that was just like we didn't know kind of what it meant, but it was like you sent us like a data CD, and we were just like, we put it in our CD player in our car, and we were like, why doesn't it work?
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Stick it in our computer, drag and drop all the files, put it on our iPods, and
oh my gosh.
Yes. That was back, man, 2010 was, CDs were still a thing.
Absolutely. CDs were a big thing.
Yeah. I guess it's been like 9 years since then, but
it's funny. I feel like 2001 to 2010 was like an entire world away, technologically speaking, from 2010 to 2019. I mean, it's like
totally
not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh.
Yeah, and this whole kind of streaming thing sort of emerged right around that time.
Absolutely.
As well. Maybe a little bit later, but after the CDs had kind of like...
Totally.
It was the end of those days. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
But, my gosh.
Yeah.
That was,
Things are changing fast.
They are. Yes. Where will it go? Yeah. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Everyone's trying to figure it out still. Streaming is a thing that works for now. But then everyone complains about streaming, so then they're trying to figure out the next thing. And I guess we'll find out what
maybe in 10 years artists can make money again.
Oh gosh, that's the thing. Who knows? Right? Who knows? Maybe it'll be a viable endeavor once again. People would just pay for art. That would, I feel like if there was a return to that. I feel like that's been like
a never-ending struggle for a while there.
Oh my gosh.
But just for a bit, people could make records and sell them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So our OBB. When did that? Okay. So I lost my train of thought. But what I was thinking about was the next time I heard from Josh about OBB, it was just him.
Right.
And I think Scott Otway was doing vocals. And
didn't really say much to us about that. It was.
Oh, really?
Well, he sort of did, but it was supposed to be kind of just a surprise thing. That I think is just something that he wanted to do for himself, or whatever. It's we had all these really great songs that were what we thought were way better than the other record that we made. We were we were writing more songs, and they were the more songs you write, the better they get usually when you're a band. So we had 4 or 5 songs that we thought were really, really good, and then we just kind of that was around the time where we kind of dissolved before we got a chance to record them.
Man. Okay.
And so, it was just a thing that I think Josh wanted to do.
Got it.
But how was that for you? I mean, I didn't really catch much of how that all happened, because Scott's vocals on that sounded so good. And I mean, the whole thing sounded really, really great. But
it was it was an interesting process. I'm trying to think when. I don't remember if it was a year later or maybe 2 summers later, but it was one of those things where I was back from Boston. I was it was in between Berkeley semesters. He reached out. Then I realized it was cool. It was just going to be him doing everything, and then Scott doing vocals. I think me and him programmed drums. Me and Josh, that is. and put the record together that way. I remember at the time, talk about technology changing. So in 2004 or 2006, I'd purchased like the most expensive thing ever to me at the time was like one of those cheese grater Mac Pros, which was at the time a dual processor, like it
a
had
Mac Pro,
a Mac Pro tower.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The big cheese grater thing, right? And so it was the latest thing at the time was that it had 2 processors. Well, not 1, but 2. But 2 years later, they realized, we can just have like multiple cores and not have 2 separate processors. So that thing became super obsolete really fast.
Yeah, and I don't remember hearing anything about that. I was pretty
oh my gosh
young at the time,
and that's not a thing that went anywhere, which was a bummer because when it came time to record Josh, my computer started acting up. I updated stuff.
And you still had that tower.
I still had the same thing that I made the first record on. And it was cool. Yeah. It crashed a couple of times during that recording process.
Always a fun time.
Always a fun time. Yeah. And then it basically seized up and it just exploded essentially
and you had everything backed up, of course.
Of course. So I ended up recording downstairs at GP Music.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Mitch Diesel was recording there at the time, and I was just trying to figure out how
Mitch
I could do it.
I don't know. Yeah, Mitch set up a studio down there or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Some sort of hidden away thing that not many people knew about at the time.
There was a way to record. Yeah. So I ended up working in there for a while.
Okay.
And then my computer totally died. So Mitch Diesel, thank you, Mitch, at every single let me borrow his tower to finish making that record.
You did tell me that. Yes.
And I feel like just the way the recording process went with some of these setbacks, I feel like I borrowed his computer for 3.5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, which was, insane. If you think about it, it's like, but that's how we cut that record. Yeah. And, it was great. Yeah. I remember it being really good.
It was really good, yeah. And I only ever heard like the YouTube version. So I heard this like super not great like compressed file that was kind of like lo-fi.
Got it.
It sounded like it would have sounded really good if you just like, listened to the actual wave file that, but still sounded really, really good. But I remember listening to it being like, it's on YouTube. Like I know it sounds better than this, but still just sounded awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun time, I
remember showing all my friends that, even though I wasn't like really a part of it at all, it was like still like really, really cool. The drums that were programmed on that were like, kind of the same thing I would have done anyway if we were working on it together. And
gotcha.
So
it was cool. Yeah, it was a good time, man. Yeah. I feel like then I went back to Boston, and then that was it for making records in town for a while, for me anyway. Did you graduate at that time? Were you done school by then, or were you graduating?
It was around the time, maybe. When did you guys do that second?
Maybe 2012?
Thing, 2012, yeah. So I think so. I would have been in grade 12, just kind of getting out of high school.
Yeah. So what did you do after high school? Did you go to Grant MacEwan right away, or did you work? What happened after that?
I went to GPRC for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, you and Josh recorded that thing, and then I can't remember if I was still in high school at the time or if I was just getting out of high school, but then Josh and Colby and I started jamming again and writing some like just weird progressive stuff. Colby was getting into like progressive metal bands, and that whole other kind of universe of like just playing weird stuff for the sake of playing weird stuff. And all that kind of fun brain teasing, odd time signature kind of crazy stuff. He was really into Between the Buried and Me, and of course, the Contortionist, and just wild kind of wacky metal bands. And so we started writing that kind of stuff, and then Josh kind of heard about it somehow. I think we would still like hang out together and stuff, and so eventually he joined the band again, and then that was a band called Cadence. For a bit, and it was just weird progressive stuff. It was really cool.
But absolutely.
Totally different than the melodic metalcore days of
classic
2010.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so we did that for a bit, and then...
and you ended up in Edmonton, going to Grant McEwen. Josh moved there too, correct?
Josh moved there a few times.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's kind of back and forth between Edmonton and GP for a bit, playing in hardcore bands.
Right.
Yeah. So after my metal band days kind of petered out, I think I was just kind of going to GPRC at the time, still living with my folks, and started learning about other music, and started playing other stuff. I got a call from some dude that was desperate for a drummer because his drummer dropped out last minute, and it turned out to be, I didn't know this at the time, it turned out to be a country band.
Oh, cool.
And and so started playing country with Mr. Travis Fowler back in
Travis,
2012. Yeah, it would have been 2012. It would have been almost 18.
Okay,
So we played TP Creek. They gave us an open bar, and I was like a couple months away from being legal.
Classic.
But classic, right? Yeah.
Interesting.
Musicians that are too young to probably
absolutely.
shouldn't be in bars, but
But you get let in to play, and then you got to leave, and the whole thing.
Yes.
That's so funny.
So then I kind of joined the world of country music for a bit, and I guess I'm still sort of part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You always make connections along the way, and I still play with Travis.
Yep.
And most of my like freelance stuff is country gigs.
Yeah, that's. I mean, being a musician, it's one of those things that if you're going to be a working musician, if you're going to be a gigging musician, like there are a lot of country gigs. I mean, that's
totally and you learn to appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You start out and you're like,
of course,
why am I doing this? And then you like anything, you play it enough and you start to, appreciate the great stuff about it that you don't really notice. On the surface.
Oh, totally. It's easy to complain about a lot of this stuff, right?
It's easy to complain about anything.
Exactly. But, there's just a thing that I remember. Victor Wooten was at Berkeley one time talking about a whole bunch of stuff, which is amazing. Victor's just
of course,
incredible player, but also just like an amazing person too. Somebody was talking to him about his technique, because everyone else, it's Victor Wooten, so people are going to talk about chops, right?
Of course. Yeah.
He talked about chops for a while, but then he paused and said, okay, look, just before we go any further, getting into the rabbit hole of chops. Right? So look, remember one thing. Get really good at playing down here on your bass because, these 5 frets, that's what you get paid to do. That's what you get paid for, right?
Learn to play the bass.
Learn to play the bass. Yeah. Just, it's great to have these chops for days, but I mean, if you can't just hold down a groove, if you can't play as part of an ensemble, if you can't just sit and keep it tight, those are important things.
Totally. There's this really great bass player I know who lives in Edmonton and was telling me this story one time. He's like, man, someone tried to tell me that Jocko was the world's greatest bass player. And I said, no, he's like a horn player that picked the wrong instrument. And, which is a little bit harsh, but if you're a bass player, like the best bass players are Pino Palladino and, the people that play the bass,
Nathan East.
And they hold down the low end and they
serve the song,
function as a member of the rhythm section. And 95% of the time, if you're playing a song, if you're playing bass, that's what you got to do, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just kind of funny. It's just
it is. I've never heard that before, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah, because he's a great soloist. He's an amazing musician.
Yeah, great composer. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
James Jamerson and Pino are like
dude.
They're the guys that are on every record.
Yeah.
Because they can just play the bass.
Absolutely.
Just thought it was kind of funny.
It is. That's a great sound bite. If this were like a clickbaity show, that would be like the all caps headline. Jocko, not a good bass player. Says David Oostra. On the next episode of Hometown Hustle.
Yes.
A rebuttal. Oh my gosh.
Just opened up a giant thread of Facebook controversy if this ever gets posted.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. For the yes, indeed. Oh my gosh, this is the one that everyone's gonna watch. They'll be like, blah blah blah. The YouTube
Dave thinks
comments will pick
Jocko
up.
sucks.
Dave said he would hit Jocko in the face. That's literally what he said.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it's gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, this ties
but yes,
in.
Jocko is amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Just,
that's right.
just letting you all know. No beef with that guy.
David Oostra retracts his statement.
Yeah. I apologize if I've offended anybody. It's just a hilarious thing that I heard this one time from this other guy. These are not
you.
These are not my original.
You're paraphrasing someone else's conversation that you heard this one time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Awesome. Well, now that we got that out of the way, so then you went to Grant MacEwan.
Yes.
How was that?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
How was music school?
It was great. Yeah, if anyone goes to music school and they're in the performance stream, it's your main focus is to just, get good at playing music. So it's a great excuse to just, lock yourself in a practice room for a few hours a day and just really focus on getting really good at what you want to do. And and just making so many connections along the way and getting to know 300 people and other people in your program that are like-minded and
totally
you're all kind of on the same. You're all crazy weirdo musicians that are kind of think on the same plane. So it's cool. It was cool to just surround myself with so many great musicians and just you learn so much just from your classmates, right?
You can't beat that
almost
atmosphere.
as much as your profs.
Oh,
So,
totally.
Yeah,
it's all about
great.
you go to learn, but it's also so much about the the jams, that whole thing. I mean, you get so much out of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Just the environment was, made it worth it for sure.
Absolutely. Were you playing in bands at Grant MacEwan, aside from the Grant MacEwan performance bands or anything like that, or were you really just focused on that?
Yeah, I was mostly just doing school when I was in Edmonton. I picked up some gigs here and there, but there were definitely other classmates that were they were, by the time they were in their third or fourth year of school, they were gigging 3 or 4 nights a week, and I still wanted to do well in school, and
for sure.
So I just was mostly focusing on school and, kind of played around here and there around town. But, and then once I was done at MacEwan, I had made some connections, of course, from, just doing that. And so the first summer that I moved back to Grande Prairie after I was done school, I was back and forth between here and Edmonton quite a bit, playing with, a few bands in Edmonton. And, doing that, so it was, lost most of my pay in gas money, but it was still worth it.
Yeah, of course, man, of course. I remember you were playing with, or maybe you had played with. I somehow came across King of Foxes on YouTube, right? And you were playing with.
Yeah,
or
I mentioned. Well, maybe one of us just randomly texted each other, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just playing a gig in Lethbridge on this little kind of short run that King of Foxes is doing, and you're like, oh man, I love that band. That's
yeah, exactly.
Crazy. I was like, what? That's crazy. So
funny.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So I was playing with them for a little bit, and then just the odd country gig here and there. I would get called to sub for somebody, and that was about it.
Cool.
There was some other people that I was kind of playing for in Edmonton, but that was kind of the main thing there. And, and then
after moving back here, you connected with the rest of the members of your current band.
Yeah.
Did you know everyone before, or how did that come about?
I met all of them after my second year at MacEwan, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So it would have been...
Got it.
Or maybe even my first year. Summer of 2015, I think we all started playing together. Yeah, so it would have been just after my first year of MacEwan Music School. And it was because Zach, I think, got asked to play at North Country Fair, and I think he asked if he could bring a band, and they said yes, and so me and the other three guys had jammed like a few times, I think, but he was, got a hold of all of us saying, hey, we like got a gig, like let's actually, kind of work up some songs that I've written and just kind of see what happens. So
cool.
So that was our first gig as a full band with me playing like real drums. Was North Country Fair. Cool.
Did you guys have the name at the time?
Yeah.
Or okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in that case,
I remember him texting me the band name.
Yeah.
Like, that's good.
It is.
That's a good band name.
It's a great name. Oh my gosh.
The Northbloods.
The Northbloods.
Yes.
Just, for anyone who doesn't know the Northbloods. Well, maybe, Dave, this is a good time to pause for 7 days exactly. And then pick up the conversation in 7 days from now.
Exactly 7 days.
With another member of the Northbloods.
Yeah.
Just to corroborate what you've been saying. Maybe.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll say goodbye. And 7 days from now, we'll get back together.
All right.
And pick it up exactly where we left off.
Yes.
You should wear that shirt.
Great. I think I'll do that. I think I'll also have both of these cups here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll just try to make it like, exactly the same.
Yeah, continuity is a big thing on this thing that I do. I'll wear this Origami Army shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all should check out that group too.
Shirt. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So in 1 week we'll reconvene.
All right.
Thank you, David.
Sounds good. Thank
See
you.
you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
In 7 days.
Yeah.
Oh, hit subscribe and like this thing. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.